seems we are good. Hello everyone, this is Gundam Ace, aka John Hooper, and I'm here with my streaming of Secret Game Killer Queen. When we last left off, the game's organizers, realizing that their current method of trying to get Yuki back wouldn't work, established a new way by setting up an extra game that if the participants accepted, then they would be able to all of them would be able to remove their collars in exchange for defending Yuki from soldiers they were about to send for the next until the end of the game. Soichi was against this, but Sakumi ultimately broke down that deep down, all he was really trying to do was use his teammates to as justifications to commit suicide. And so once she finally made it so he could no longer make excuses, he decided to play along with them in the extra game. Also, Ace has currently located the casino boat where the game is being managed and where Yuki's father is headed. And the soldiers arrived at the building and promptly killed Goda, who make her take responsibility for this. So yeah, that's where we left off. So let's continue. I'm surprised you found so many of these, Fumika. Well, you know what they say. You know what they say. Well prepared means no worries. In response to Soichi's exasperated words, Fumika stopped assembling some sort of device and smiled. Then she spoke low enough so only Soichi could hear her. I brought in everything that my faction could provide. What Fumika was putting together were tools her comrades had hidden across the building over a long period of time. Intelligence operatives of Ace had entered as either as participants or spies in the organization, and done two things in this building to prepare for the upcoming battle. The first were setting up the devices Fumika had used for battle before. That involved putting fake footage up on the cameras or sabotaging sensors to go temporarily offline. The second was hiding weapons and tools for the upcoming battle. What Fumiko's putting together right now were weapons that have been hidden all over the 6th floor. The way the game generally worked anyway was that the higher the floor you went, the stronger the weapons. But if the final battle between the organization and Ace came to be, there'd be no way they could acquire the weapons and tools provided on site. You could say the same thing about the PDAs, of course. They wouldn't be able to add any software, and any other software, and it would be useless. proof of this, there were virtually no weapons or tools lying around the 5th or 6th floors. And so it was that Fumika recovered the weapons her comrades have been placing around here for a while now. That's what they call a Columbus egg. Soichi watched as Yuki stared with interest at Fumika putting together some sort of protection device, as he thought that. The organization probably doesn't have any idea that they had these kind of weapons hidden right in their noses. There wasn't just 1 or 2 weapons around Fumika. Pistols, machine guns, rifles, small rocket launchers. Apart from weapons, there are also surveillance cameras, temperature sensors, and night vision scopes. It was like a weapons market.
下から上がってくるときに拾った武器とこれでなんとかなればいいんだけど。
The weapons we brought up here, and with these, we should be able to manage, but... Though she was surrounded by many different pieces of equipment, Fumika's face was grim. To Soichi, with all these weapons on her side, got the feeling she'd be able to manage to do something on her own. But Fumika just seemed even more worried. Are the people we're up against really that strong? Sakumi also seemed to feel anxiety. Fumika nodded without hesitating.
そうよ、さくみちゃん。次は最初の男たちみたいなアマチュアじゃない。まず間違いなくプロを送り込んでくるはずよ。それだけの時間はあったでしょうし。
That's right, Sakumi. These guys won't be amateurs like the first men they send in. There's no doubt about that they're sending over pros. That's why they need all this time to set it up. Fumika then returned to her work.
向こうの装備は変わらないだろうけど、きちんと訓練を受けた人間が使えば、道具の効果は何倍にもなる。
Probably using the same kind of weapons as probably using the same kind of weapons, but in the hands of those who received actual training, they're much more effective.
心してかからないと、すぐにやられてしまうでしょうね。
If we're careless, they'll wipe us out in no time. Fumika coldly threw aside the gun she finished assembling.
そんなの相手に勝てるのかな?
Do you think we can really beat people like that? One second. Alright, Fumika, not to interrupt you or anything, but are you sure we aren't being rash?
宗一君、このエクストラゲームに乗らなくても、どのみち私たちは一度は連中と戦うことになったわ。
Where we played this extra game or not, we've already fought with those guys once before.
どうせそうなら、相手がルールに従っている間の方が何歩かマシよ。
If it's going to be that way, it'll be much easier to deal with them when they're when they're following the rules. But if your comrades start their attack before that, can't we end this without fighting? Soichi whispered that part. Fumika whispered back.
そうでなかった場合のリスクが高すぎたわ。ゲーム終了まで攻撃が始まらない場合だってあったんだわ。
The risk that won't happen is too high. There's even the chance that the battle won't start until after the game is ended. Come to think of it, Fumika did say something like that when she told us her identity.
こうなったら腹をくくるしかないわ。もう私たちには戦って勝つ以外に生き延びる方法はない。
Now it's come to this, we just have to prepare ourselves for the worst. We have no other way of surviving other than fighting. There's no other way to end this messed up game, huh? Understood. And where's our next move? Fumika stood up as she finished assembling everything.
罠とセンサー類を配置しに行くわ。宗一君も手伝ってくれる？
I'm going to set up the traps and sensors. Will you help me out, Soichi? Yes, of course. Soichi nodded and stood up. The group's final battle was approaching them. Hold on. It was about 20 minutes after Soichi's group finished making all their preparations that their surveillance monitor picked up something. It was right about 8:30. Soichi noticed it finished barricading the room. But even so, Soichi was nervous about the approaching enemies. Fumika, the third blip has disappeared. Fumika nodded calmly at Soichi's panicked report.
やっぱり南回りで来たわね。思った通りだわ。
They're coming from the south, just as I expected. But even so, there wasn't any reaction on their radar.
向こうもしっかりした準備はあるってことよ。
They're fully prepared.
3番の罠は特別だからどうしてもダメだったみたいだけど、こっちの電子装備を端から順に潰して進んできてるよね。
The third trap was special, so it looks like it didn't work out. But they should be going about destroying our electronic devices first, in order. The third trap was blocking off a hallway with wires that were tied to grenades. But that trap was actually a decoy. And the real And its real goal was for the was to detect the presence of upcoming enemies by using the lasers on the trigger wires for the grenades. Just by touching it, the measuring instruments would react. Didn't send out radio waves or anything like that. And it was impossible to find since the laser was far away and invisible to the naked eye. It'd be a different story if the building had that kind of device in there from the start. But the devices they were using weren't in the building originally. So their enemies were unprepared for it.
さくみちゃん、コントローラーのファンクションの1を押しながら A のトリガーを引いて。
Sakumi, press function 1 on the controller as you pull the A trigger.
はい。
Got it. Sakumi was in charge of operating the mechanisms Ace had planned in this building beforehand. The device she was operating now was the same one Fumika used beforehand to get the drop on those soldiers. By pressing the switch, surveillance cameras on the 6th floor as we fed looped false footage. The enemy should be keeping an eye on Soichi's group by the images from the surveillance cameras. Alright, sorry. So they needed to use those when they were doing something they didn't want their enemies to see. Or to blind their eyes at the start of the battle, like right now. The camera footage had protected the group up until now. But since their enemies were operating within the rules, cameras will only serve the purpose of feeding their enemy information. This kind of sabotage was necessary in order to blind them. Sakumi carefully operated a gun-shaped controller that looked like one that we'd use for a game console to operate the building's mechanisms. And when she did, the operation indicator flashed.
入れました。
I've input it.
これで何分間かは時間が稼げるわ。さくみちゃん、LED が赤になったら今度はファンクション1でトリガーは B。
This should buy us a few minutes. Sakumi, once the LED goes red, press pull trigger B on function 1.
わかりました。
Understood. That command will make the surrounding cameras shut down. The indicator LED on the controller turning red was a warning that the enemies have regained control of the cameras. We're about to regain control of the cameras. In that case, they would shut down the cameras before they could be taken back. That way, even if they did get the camera authority back, they need to reboot the system and buy themselves a few more minutes of time.
さくみちゃんがシャットダウンしたら連絡をお願いね、渚さん。
Once Sakumi shut them down, make the calls, Nagisa.
わかった。
Okay, got it. Nagisa nodded while holding a small radio. It was a digital radio that was directly linked to an earpiece that Fumika had.
あとは宗一君、君と私の頑張り次第よ。
The rest depends on our efforts, Soichi. Got it.
慣れないとは思うけど、冷静に敵の動きを見て無駄弾は撃たないように。
I know you're not used to this, but calmly watch the enemy's movements and don't waste any bullets.
私を攻撃しようとする奴をターゲットに指定してくれるだけで構わないから。
All we have to do is all you have to do is set your sights on targets I'm trying to attack. Sorry, that are trying to attack me. Got it. No, enemies I'm trying to attack, sorry. Soichi's job was to launch preemptive attacks and provide diversions. With that said, he wouldn't exactly be holding a gun and attacking. Soichi's role would, to be precise, Soichi's role would be to operate the building's defense mechanisms that Ace had sabotaged beforehand, had tampered with beforehand, and operating automatic weapons that Fumika had prepared. Ace hadn't just taken control of surveillance devices. Though he also had control of several of the other building systems, although not many. Right now, he could use two mechanisms near the room: the stun grenade launch device and the emergency barricade system. The former opened the walls and shot. The former was a weapon that opened from the walls and shot grenades that knocked out their targets. The latter controlled fireproof shutters, but was far more advanced than ones on PDA softwares. Soichi was grateful for the both of them. On top of that was also the second. On top of that was the automatic machine gun attack turrets that Fumika had set up. Soichi also had the role of controlling those devices. From this room, he would use a small computer, laptop, and controller to remotely control the devices and keep the enemies in check.
Fumika-san, 頑張ってね.
Good luck, Fumika.
ありがとう、ユキちゃん。ユキちゃんは見つからないように隠れてるのよ。
Thank you, Yuki. Hide so you don't get found, okay? Yuki was helping Fumika. Hold on a second. Was helping arm Fumika. Yuki was helping arm Fumika. Fumika's role was offense. As the only one with combat experience here, she would back up Soichi's group and go out on the front lines.
私も何かやった方が良くないかな。
Is there something else I can do? It seemed Yuki wasn't very happy with her role. Her face was a little dim.
私だけ守られてるだけじゃなんか悪い気がする。
I feel guilty being the only one protected around here. It's okay, Yuki. They're after you. So hiding is a wonderful job. No matter how strong we are, if you get caught, then it'll all be for nothing. Okay. Soichi's words didn't ease Yuki's concerned face. Soichi then thought for a bit. Alright then, Yuki, then I have a job for you. Really? It's up to you to protect Reika, Hazuki, and Karin. If they look like they're in pain, take care of them. Got it. Yuki took a pistol from Soichi and happily ran over to the unconscious Reika, Hazuki, and Karin. But don't forget to hide if the enemies come, alright? Don't worry, I'll be fine. No, don't worry, I got it. Yuki then pulled out a first aid kit and sat by Reika's pillow. Are you sure it's okay to let Yuki have a gun? Hold on a second. There was a hint of criticism for Soichi in Sakumi's expression. Soichi gave her a wry smile and winked. Actually, that gun doesn't have any bullets in it. He didn't whisper it low enough so Yuki wouldn't hear. I see. Yuki then starts to smile for relief. Okay. Just then, Fumika finished up with her preparations. She was equipped with a bulletproof vest, weapons, and other tools. Last, she had a large machine gun in her hands.
それじゃ行ってくるわね。
Alright.
私たちがチームを組むのは初めてだけど、役割を忘れずに落ち着いて頑張りましょう。
Alright, then I'm going. It's the first time our team has come together. But all of you work hard and don't forget your roles, okay? Hold on a second, I'm just going to... I'll be right back. Okay, I'm continuing. Soichi was in charge of operating the weapons and devices. Sakumi was keeping an eye on their enemies and helping out Soichi. Nagisa was in charge of communications and protecting Yuki. Fumika was fighting directly on the front lines. The team was comprised almost entirely of was a makeshift team comprised nearly entirely of amateurs, but they couldn't use that as an excuse. The enemies didn't care for their situation. In fact, they welcomed their disadvantage. That was why they all had to carry out their duties to the best of their abilities. I'll do my best. Leave it to me, Fumika. Sakumi and Nagisa nodded. There was no hesitation or fear to be found in their faces. Soichi glanced and saw Yuki attending to the three unconscious comrades of theirs, carefully. Fumika, the one about to head into the most dangerous place of them all, gave them a composed smile. Got it. Soichi looked at his comrades and nodded. I'll protect them this time. For everyone's sake. And for my own sake. We're all gonna get out of this alive. The determination to survive of his comrades, oddly drove the fear out of Soichi's body, making his hands stop shaking. There are 11 survivors at the start of the extra game. No, when the extra game had been accepted. The ones unconscious weren't participating, so that made 8. So there were 8 enemies to match that. Soichi's group thought the 8 coming out from the hallway were them. But the surveillance device, the footage from the surveillance devices, Soichi was observing, didn't show them at first. Fumika, there's robots up ahead. They're traveling about 15 meters behind it. Soichi communicated what he saw to Fumika over the radio. Soichi had an communications earpiece in his right ear. The same as the kind Fumika had. The monsters Soichi was looking at showed familiar small robots. It was the same as the one that attacked them on the 4th floor. And there wasn't just one this time. There were 4 of them all teamed up and traveling down the hallway together. There's 4 in total. They'll be on you in about, I think they'll be on you in about a minute, Fumika. Fumika was hiding herself on the path to the men. If she did nothing, then she encountered the enemy soon. These enemies are tough customers. You could feel Fumika contemplating on the other side of the radio. In that time, the robots and the men continued progressing down the hallway on the screen. The men were planning to use the robots as decoys. Will we attack first as planned? In a few more seconds, the robots will be within shooting range of the stun grenades. They'd set it up to use it for their for launching the initial strike in the first place. Hold on, Soichi. I'll do something about the robots. So you aim for the... So you ignore them and aim for the men behind them. We can't expect the stun grenades to have an effect on the robots. When he heard that voice, Soichi took his hand away from the grenade control panel. Got it. We really do have to fight humans then. Perhaps because she sensed that hesitation from Soichi. Fumika called over to him over the radio receiver in a comforting voice. Calm down, Soichi. Those weapons won't hurt anyone. At worst, they'll just leave with headaches that'll last until tomorrow. I guarantee it. I got my load of them during training, believe me. The most important thing in combat was facing your targets on the battlefield and shooting at them. If you could shoot them. Much like a bike, once you learned how to use it, there would be no problem the second time. What was important was the very first time. In the majority of past wars, most soldiers couldn't shoot their enemies in their first battles. To be more precise, even if they could point their guns towards their enemies and pull the triggers, they would aim so that their bullets wouldn't hit the targets. Even during war, people were still very reluctant to become killers. As mental science has developed with modernization of times, that recent soldiers were more resistant towards not shooting their first time, but the root problem still remained. That was why Fumika found his reaction natural. She herself had once been like that. And in Soichi's case, he was an ordinary civilian and received no training whatsoever. Even if someone told him to shoot, it was normal to not be able to accept that right away. I'm okay, Fumika. I can do it. Get a grip on yourself. If I don't shoot, then Fumika will die. Weapon won't kill anyone. So get it right in your first time, Soichi Mitsurugi. But fortunately, Soichi had a full grasp on their current situation. It's probably because of how Sakumi had forced him to look at reality just earlier. Include no convenient excuses or no selfish inconvenient interpretations or excuses. Soichi slapped his cheeks and fired himself up. Mitsurugi, the robots! At that moment, one of the robots, the first robot passed by the camera. Crap, gotta focus. Fumika, a robot passed in front of the camera. You should be able to see it soon enough. Got it. Once I see it, I'll start. Wait for my signal. I'll attack on my signal. Got it. At the same time Soichi responded, the second robot passed by the camera. The third and fourth quickly followed suit. The men were getting closer and closer as well. I can see the robots here as well. When he heard that voice, Soichi touched the grenade control panel. Reach. Oh, sorry, Soichi reached for the control panel. Second one's here too. Third and the fourth. Soichi, get started. Roger that. Soichi pressed the button on the panel. Fumika's attack and Soichi's stun grenades launched at almost the exact same time. Because of this, the sound of Fumika's shots was drowned out by the explosion of the grenades. And the surroundings were filled with the vibrations and roars caused by the grenades. Fumika's submachine gun bullets rained down on the robots passing through the hallway. The slow robots took them head on and were reduced to scrap. A moment later, the flash of the grenade filled the hallway. Right before that light vanished, Fumika ran to a corner in the hallway where the robot's remains were lying.
やっぱりそううまくはいかないか。
He knew it wouldn't go that well. Fumika peeked around the corner. And he didn't see that the majority of the soldiers sent by the organization were indeed affected by the gun grenades and stopped. But two of them were already back on their feet. Fumika hid behind the corner of the hallway, aimed at the closest soldier, and fired her submachine gun. Because he'd been due to the effects of this grenade, the man didn't notice and was soon shot down. But at that moment, the other soldier noticed Fumika and acted. But for some reason, he wasn't trying to attack Fumika. He crouched over to his fallen comrade and took a small black box they'd been holding. He then pointed towards Fumika. But it didn't look like he was trying to attack her. What's he trying to do? Fumika, sensing something was bad, pulled back her gun and got out of her firing stance. At the same moment, the man pressed a switch on the black box. But as expected, it didn't attack Fumika. There was no attack on Fumika, nor was there an attack from the man either. But at the same moment, Fumika noticed the man's smirk. See, damn it! Fumika seemed to realize something from the man's smile and ran back down the hallway at full speed. She then jumped without losing the momentum of her run, and threw her head to the floor to protect herself. No, threw herself to the floor to protect her head. It was at that moment that the robot's remains exploded. The robots had two roles. The first was to go ahead of the soldiers and act as decoys. If there were any traps, the robots would get caught in them, most likely. And if there were enemies, then they take the bullets for the soldiers. A rather fitting role for unmanned weapons. And the other one, that was to self-destruct to any nearby enemies. Between the robot's wheels below were gunpowder. That way, even if the robot was destroyed, then it could still blow away anyone who tried to attack the soldiers. Another purpose would be fitting of unmanned weapons. A human couldn't do the same thing, that was for sure. Ow. Fortunately for Fumika, not all 4 had blown up. The antenna and detonation device had been damaged by Fumika's attack, so only 2 of the 4 actually blew up. On top of that, there hadn't been all that much gunpowder packed in it, so as to avoid injuring the organization's own soldiers. Thanks to that, Fumika managed to escape by the skin of her teeth. Fumika, please respond! Fumika! Are you alright? I'm okay. I'm alive. They got me good. Hold on a second. Really can't deal with them by ordinary means. Fumika responded to Soichi as she dragged her body injured by these shockwaves from the explosions. She was going to deliver the finishing blow on the man who detonated the robots. She couldn't afford to keep lying down.
Soichi-kun, もう一度グレネード。それと、私と奴らの間で各駅を下ろして。
Soichi, fire another grenade, then lower a shutter between me and them. Got it. When Fumika got to her feet, the hallway was filled with another flash and rumble. Right beyond the corner of the hallway where Fumika retreated from, it was Soichi's second attack. But it was blocked by a shutter. I was naive. I'm the amateur here. These guys are even better at fighting than I expected. Though she managed to barely escape, Fumika felt intense regret at her own naivety of her predictions. Fumika, the surveillance cameras have been shut down now. Those guys are trying to take back the building's control of the building systems, devices. This is the pits. Misfortunes never come singly. Fumika put her hand against the wall and shook her head. My left leg, left shoulder, and my head hurt. I just sprained my leg, and judging from this feeling, piece of the robots or something got on my shoulder. That's my head. I hope that was just from the shockwaves from the explosions. You get out of there right away, Soichi. But the attack failed. I couldn't defeat them on my own. The longer the battle drew out, the more of a disadvantage they were at. It was impossible for amateurs like Soichi's group to last in a long-term battle with pros. That was why Fumika had believed that she had to settle this with this attack. But the result was just as she'd seen. She only managed to defeat one of them, and she'd gotten injured instead. Remember when I said what happened if I got attacked? Do it. Fumika, wait! Get out of there with that, the others, Soichi. I'll do what I can to mislead them. Fumika! Soichi's voice continued, but Fumika forcefully cut off communications. She dragged her injured body and started walking. She was well aware what the organization of the soldiers were up to next. So Fumika intended to get the drop on them before they could, and then launch another attack on them. But as long as she was injured, she couldn't assist Soichi and the others. She was well aware of what kind of result that would bring about. But she couldn't afford to retreat to the rest of the group's position. It seemed doubtful if she could make it there quicker than their enemies in their injured state. There's no other way than this for Fumika. But Fumika wasn't scared. Many of Fumika's comrades at Ace had lost their lives here as well. She had been well aware from the start there was no guarantee she'd be coming out of this alive. In the end, we couldn't become heroes, huh? Fumika felt that was probably Ace's duty. Fumika! Fumika! Damn it! Soichi cursed as he took the earpiece off him. Fumika had cut communications on her own end. And now that the surveillance cameras have been shut down, they couldn't see Fumika. Big bro, what happened to Fumika? She managed to defeat one of them, but their attack failed, and then she got injured, it seems. It seems like she's planning to buy time for us to escape. Soichi turned to Yuki and said that. When he did, Yuki ran right up to him. Sakumi and Nagisa did the same. But Mitsurugi, that means Fumika will... That's right. Fumi's prepared to go down, oh, hold on a second. That's right, Fumika's prepared to go down, taking them with her. Before she cut off communication, she told us to run. There are rooms on the 6th floor where the surveillance and attack devices have been physically removed. They fed false information, and so if they could hide in there, they could buy themselves a lot of time. They were supposed to flee there if worse came to worse. What do we do, Soichi? You know, there's nothing else we can do. Soichi frantically began arming himself with a pistol and rifle. I'm gonna go save Fumika. The rest of you head for the room as planned. It's dangerous, Soichi. Dangerous or not, we can't afford to leave her behind, can we? We all promised to get out of here alive, right? That means not a single one of us lost. Soichi was determined. And that was precisely why he responded to Sakumi's persuasion. There was one path he should take. Mitsurugi, I'll help too. Sakumi also began arming herself and putting on a bulletproof vest. The words she'd said to persuade Soichi had been no lies. Counting on you, Sakumi. It's precisely for that reason that Soichi didn't try to stop her. On the other hand, it made her happy to hear that. Nagisa, take care of Yuki. Two of you go to the other room, please. Big bro, I'm coming too. No, Yuki. Remember, your job is to hide, remember? But... Mitsurugi and I will definitely bring Fumika back. So please go and wait in that place we discussed. Can you promise that? Yeah. Do I look like a man who breaks his promises? No. Yuki seemed anxious, but she just nodded. Sorry, Yuki. I don't think I'll be able to keep my promise this one time. Soichi is well aware of what kind of reality awaited them. So although he promised Yuki, deep down he apologized to her. So you're going, Soichi? Once Soichi had finished preparing, Nagisa spoke to him in an uncharacteristically quiet voice. Yes. Let's see each other again later, Nagisa. Soichi nodded and smiled at her. Let's go, Sakumi. There's no time. And so he rushed right out of the room. Got it. Sakumi quickly followed suit. Soichi, just tell me one thing. What's that? Soichi turned around to Nagisa just as he had his hand on the door. Hold on a second. If you were a secret agent in the organization, but you wanted to save Fumika and the others in spite of that, what would you do? It was an odd question. But for being in a hurry, Soichi didn't have time to think about it, so he answered honestly. I've already made my promise, Nagisa. We're all getting out of here alive. So no matter what I was, I'd still be doing the same thing as I am now. I see. You're right. It was that kind of promise, wasn't it? Thank you, Soichi. I understand. Nagisa shed tears when she heard Soichi's answer. Her tears kept piling up. Eventually, trails started streaking down her cheeks. I'm going now. Take care of the rest, Nagisa. Let's go, Sakumi. Got it. Soichi turned the doorknob and pushed open the door. Wait, Soichi. I have a better way for all of us to survive and go home alive. Huh? At that voice, Soichi stopped again. My time has finally come. I've survived all this time for this very moment. Nagisa said that as she wiped her eyes. Nagisa? Soichi is bewildered by Nagisa's appearance. Sakumi was the same. It's okay, guys. I'll make sure you win. I guarantee it. Nagisa lifted her head again. A fierce will shining in her eyes. That shine was of the hope she also contained the hope she discovered in herself. When the 7 soldiers from the organization appeared at the end of the hallway, Fumika knew her end had come. She was up against 7. She was on her own. The organization taking back control of the mechanisms. And she wouldn't receive backup from Soichi and the others. And on top of that, she was injured. Fumika knew she was not in battle shape. Well, if she just stood around to nothing, Soichi and the others would be massacred. She wanted to take down their numbers by as much as she could. She wanted to buy him as much time as she could. That was her goal right now. The men began closing the distance between Fumika when they saw her. Though Fumika was on her own, since she was injured, her actions wouldn't change. The men were trying to purge Fumika as a pure system. There were no flaws in it. Fumika raised the submachine gun leaning against the wall. Soichi and the others get away? The gunfight would start in just another second. But in that moment, Fumika thought not of herself, but of her younger comrades. But now wasn't the time to be thinking of any of that. A shutter began slowly closing in front of Fumika. Fumika, fall back! Soichi called out to her from behind. At the same time, the gunfire started. But it came not from, but unlike what Fumika expected, it didn't come from the men in front of her, but from the back, in other words, from the direction of Soichi. The bullets passed by Fumika and flew forward. They were aimed straight for the men. But the men noticed the bullets and scattered and therefore weren't hit. But though they missed, the gunfire forced them pin them down, force them into hiding for a while. Fumika, stand up! You need to run away before they get back here. Fumika turned around and saw Soichi and Sakami. Huh? Fumika's eyes wide in surprise. But not at the arrival of Soichi and Sakami. No, what surprised Fumika most of all was Nagisa holding a large rifle like a pro. Nagisa's bullets fired accurately, forcing the men who were trying to fight back into hiding. It was you? What's going on here? That wasn't the handling of an amateur, no matter how you looked at it. It didn't match up for her image at all. Fumika, we'll talk later. The men counterattacked at Soichi's words. One of the men had fired in the gap between Nagisa's bullets. Ah! The bullet grazed Soichi's cheek and flew by. Had it been only a few inches closer, it would have blown a hole right through his head. Soichi, lower yourself. Got it. No time to be surprised, Soichi lowered his head. And Nagisa fired towards the man who fired. At that moment, a bullet hit the man's arm. And knocking away the pistol he was holding. I don't have many bullets left. Hurry up over here. Nagisa shouted as she fired. Soichi fell back as he got up. Fumika, let's go. Got it. Soichi and Sakami took Fumika and went back the way they came. During that time, Nagisa skillfully used her rifle to keep their enemies frozen in place. It worked! Once Soichi and others made it back to Nagisa, the shutter that was falling near Nagisa finally reached the floor. The men who Nagisa had stopped in their tracks were on the other side of it, of the thick metal shutter. It was sturdy, so they didn't have to worry about explosions, breaking through of it with explosions. It was built to last against chemical fires. Thanks to that, they avoid danger for the time being. Sakami, Fumika, are you alright? I'm fine. What about you, Fumika? I was injured from the start. I didn't get any new wounds. Soichi and Sakami were panting. It was only to be expected since they were not used to running and shooting like that. On the other hand, it was Fumika, the one they'd saved, who was composed. I thought I told you to run away. Sorry. I made a group decision to save you. You're all so stupid. What would you have done if you died? Though Fumika said that, she looked happy on the surface. Oh, hold on a second. Hello? Okay, sorry about that. Let's continue. Sorry, though Fumika said that, she had a happy smile on. Nagisa took a breath and threw away her spent rifle. And she approached Soichi and the others who were wearing relieved smiles.
みんなこれで一安心なんだけど、カズマのコントロールルームからならあの隔壁はすぐに開けられるの。
We're safe for the time being, but they can open this shutter from the control room of the casino.
グズグズしていないで、ユキちゃんたちのところへ戻りましょう。
We can't stand around. Let's go and head back to Yuki and the others, okay?
そうね、それがいいわ。
You're right, that's best. That's for the best. Fumika quickly accepted Nagisa's proposal. Fumika had a lot of questions, but she was well aware they didn't have time to answer any of them right now.
みんなこっちへ案内するわ。
This way, I'll lead you there. And so Soichi and the others started following Nagisa down the hallways. Okay. Nagisa led Soichi and the others to a mysterious hallway, to a room at the end of a mysterious hallway that didn't appear on the map. Central control room? Soichi read off the plate on the door, and then Nagisa opened it.
こっちよ、宗一くん。奥に医務室もあるから、レイカちゃんたちはそこへ連れて行ってあげて。
Over here, Soichi. There's an infirmary inside, so take Reika and the others over there. Nagisa called out to him from inside. Soichi carried the unconscious Reika into the room. What is this place? It was a bizarre room. Unlike the dusty rooms they'd seen up till now, it was clean and well maintained. There were several large monitors against the wall, as well as a large workstation with various terminals connected to it. They were all active, and they could hear the sound, and the group could hear the sounds of small cooling fans blowing through the room. These footage of this building? There are familiar hallways and rooms shown on the monitors, as well as armed men wandering them. It seemed these monitors shows feed from surveillance cameras throughout the building.
お兄ちゃん、止まってないで入ってよ。
Don't just stand around, big bro. Go in. Right, sorry. Soichi hastily entered the room. Karin then came in helping Yuki, Yuki then came in helping Karin walk, while Sakumi helped Fumika in.
変な部屋だね、宗一。
This is a strange room, Soichi, huh? You got that right. Karin looked around troubled. It seemed she held the same opinion of the place as Soichi. Soichi glanced around. No, Soichi took a glance at her and saw that the bandage around her leg was bleeding. Karin had been put to sleep by medicine after she treated Fumika. No, after Fumika treated her. It seems her wounds hurt, but it seems she was still able to manage walking. Thanks to that, Soichi and the others only had to carry Hazuki and Reika. That's right, we need to bring Hazuki here too. Remembering that, Soichi adjusted Reika on his back and headed into a room deeper in. Once he put Reika in the infirmary there, he was planning to go back and get Hazuki. They left Hazuki at the stairwell just outside this room. It would have been impossible to carry the unconscious Hazuki and Reika at the same time. Nagisa, where's the infirmary? Let's go through that door and take a left. Got it. Soichi hastily went through the door and headed for the infirmary. There wasn't much time, so they couldn't leave. So he didn't want to leave Hazuki lying around there for too long. What's going on here? Soichi swallowed his question and headed to enter the infirmary. After Soichi had laid Hazuki down on the bed in the infirmary and went back to the first room, he saw Sakumi and the others waiting for him. Thanks for all the hard work, Mitsurugi. Sakumi stood up when she saw Soichi. She was giving him a special smile she only showed to him recently. She then approached Soichi. But it was Yuki who reached Soichi first. They were heavy, weren't they, big bro? Well, Hazuki was. Soichi rustled Yuki's hair. She didn't smile with satisfaction. And Reika? I'll keep that a secret. Yeah, good point. Nagisa watched over Yuki with gentle gaze. She was all smiles. She was truly happy that they all made it here safely. Karin was the same. Since Karin was injured, she was sitting down on a chair at the workstation desk. On their way here, Soichi told him everything that happened while she was out. Thanks to that, Karin understood what was going on. Hold on 1 second. Okay, amidst all of them, Fumiko's the only one with a complicated look on her face. She leaned against the desk and crossed her arms in contemplation. Once she confirmed that Soichi was back, she turned her gaze to Nagisa and spoke.
それで早速なんだけど、事情を説明してくれないかしら、渚さん。
Let's just cut to the chase. Can you explain yourself, Nagisa? What's going on, Fumika? Fumika's stern expression didn't fade. Soichi found that odd. Well, yeah, I mean, Nagisa's strong. I am surprised she knew about this place. Was there any reason to look at her like an enemy?
ふみかさんはもう想像がついているんじゃないですか?
You already have an idea, don't you, Fumika? Sorry, you've already figured it out pretty much, haven't you, Fumika? Nagisa's composed face didn't break in the face of Nagisa's gentle expression didn't collapse in the face of Fumika's stern glare. She hadn't spoken in a gentle voice. Come to think of it, Nagisa is acting weird. She's so calm, it's like she's a different person. Soichi also was also confused about that.
あなた、ゲームマスターなんでしょ?
Yes. You're a game master, aren't you?
はい。
Yes.
やっぱりそうなのね。
I thought so. A word Soichi didn't know was thrown around. Game master? What's that?
宗一くん、ゲームマスターっていうのは一言で言えばこのゲームの管理人。
Sum up in the sentence, Soichi. The game master is in charge of this game. Supervises the game. Nagisa's smile didn't fade. And she continued to speak with a smile.
つまりね、私は宗一くんたちの敵、組織の回し者なの。
In other words, I'm your enemy. A secret agent from the organization. Nagisa said as though she were only discussing the weather. The air instantly froze at her words. You're a secret agent of the enemy? Soichi could barely believe what he heard. You're kidding, right? I mean, you gotta be lying, don't you? The Nagisa Soichi remembered was always smiling cheerfully and acting without care in the world. She was a carefree yet kind woman. It was thanks to her that they just managed to barely make it out of that situation all alive.
でも、それが真実なのよ。
But it's the truth.
本当なんですか、渚さん。私にはとても信じられません。
Is that true, Nagisa? I just can't bring myself to believe it. Sakumi's face went stiff. She sounded like she was almost screaming.
本当よ。信じてくれていたのは嬉しいけれど、そもそも疑 疑われているようじゃ仕事にならないもの。
It's true. I'm happy you believed in me. But in the first place, I couldn't do my job if I was doubted. Your job? Another word that piqued Soichi's curiosity popped up. What do you mean by that? What job?
私の仕事はね、ソイチ君。
You see, Soichi, my job is... Nice, and started operating one of the terminals. When she did, a monitor... It switched over to a... Switched over the footage from one of the... It switched over to footage from within the building on the monitor. The footage on the monitor showed the computer terminal screen for some reason.
今回の私の仕事は参加者の様子を至近距離から撮影すること。
My job this time is to film the participants from close up. Nagisa looked dead on at Soichi. And when she did, the image on the monitor also swiveled around. That can't be! The monitor that was displaying the computer terminal. Is now that had been displaying the computer terminal was now showing a close-up of Soichi.
この頭の飾りのところにカメラが、胸の飾りのところにマイクが仕込んであるの。それでゲームの参加者の生の姿を至近距離から撮影するの。
There's a camera in the ribbons on my head, and there's a microphone on the ribbon on my chest. These are for capturing footage of the participants of this game up close, live. When Nagisa brought her hand up to her ribbon, the footage of Soichi switched over to a large hand. Those slender fingers were Nagisa's, no doubt about it. Nagisa then let go of her ribbon and removed a small part from there. Moved her hand away from the ribbon and removed a small part from there. When she did, the footage on the monitor disappeared.
これが撮影用のカメラ。小さいけど綺麗な映像が撮れるのよ。なんでもこれ1個で家が建つぐらいの値段なんだって。
This is the camera I use for filming. It's small, but the resolution's pretty incredible. Though it costs about the same as to build a house. Nagisa held it between her fingers and approached Soichi. This is... Nagisa was holding a camera smaller than a matchbox. The lens was separated from the main unit, connected by a connected by an optical fiber cable. Since the lens was so small, it blended right in with the ribbon it had been attached to. And the main part of it was hidden in her hair, or perhaps in her clothes, so no one would notice it. That certainly was decisive proof. Soichi had to accept it. Though it was hard to believe, Nagisa Kido was in league with the organization. It can't be. She's in league with the people who try to make us kill one another? In his head, he knew that to be the truth. But in his heart, he couldn't accept it. To Soichi, Nagisa Kido had been a trusted ally for a while now. Then why did you help us? If you're our enemy, then why did you do it? You shouldn't have had anything to gain from doing this, right? Soichi wanted to deny it. He wanted to believe that he was wrong about her being on the enemy side. And he wanted Nagisa to say that she was on their side.
実は私ね、昔ゲームで親友を殺したの。あの子は私を信じきれず、私に銃を向けた。だから私も彼女に銃を向けた。
The truth is, I once killed my best friend in the game. She didn't trust me, and pointing the gun at me. So I pointed the gun at her too.
どっちが先に撃ったのかもわからない。気づいた時にはあの子は血まみれで倒れてた。
I don't know which of us shot first. When I came to my senses, she was lying there covered in blood. Nagisa had been smiling the whole time. And for the first time, it vanished.
それ以降は誰のことも信じられなかった。信じていたのは誰だって裏切るんだってこと。
Ever since then, I couldn't trust anyone. All I did trust was that everyone was capable of betrayal.
だから誰が苦しんでも誰が死んでも何も感じなかった。ゲームマスターになってからこそ。
And so because I became a game master, I felt nothing no matter how many people suffered or died.
初めて宗一君たちと会った時だってそう思ってたの。
I thought the same thing back when I first met you guys. No way. Soichi was speechless at Nagisa's unexpected confession. The other four were the same, as they waited for Nagisa to continue with bated breath.
でもね、宗一君たちはそうじゃなかった。あなたたちは何があっても裏切らなかった。誰も見捨てたりしなかった。
But you guys weren't like that. No matter what happened, you didn't betray each other. You didn't abandon anyone.
いつまで経っても私たちのようにはならなかった。
No matter how much time passed, you didn't end up like us. And her smile returned.
だから宗一君たちには死んでほしくないなって思ったの。みんなで帰ってほしいなって思った。ただそれだけなのよ。
That's why I don't want you guys to die. That's why I want you to come out of this alive. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Oh. But to Soichi, it looked like behind that smile, Nagisa was crying. She wasn't shedding any tears. But to Soichi, her face looked like a teary one. And so the moment he perceived that, he remembered something.
もし宗一君が組織の回し者だったとして。
Soichi, if you were a spy of the organization,
それなのに文香さんをみんなを助けたいと感じていたら、宗一君ならどうする？
and yet you wanted to save Fumika and the others, in spite of that, what would you do? Nagisa once said that. I see. So that's what that meant. And how had Soichi answered that? When Soichi realized that, the confusion finally cleared from his mind. Soichi scratched his head as he heaved a deep sigh. And here I was worrying about what you would say. Once he understood Nagisa's feelings, Soichi felt the tension leave him, and he started smiling wryly. Don't scare me like that, Nagisa. Soichi then smiled as he sat on the desk. Everyone's eyes focused on him. Nagisa herself seemed rather bewildered, and she furrowed her eyebrows and tilted her head quizzically. I mean, it's not like you're not telling us you're going to become our enemy now or something like that, right? Sheesh. So basically, it's like this, right? You did some bad things in the past, but now you're on our side. Oh, I see now. When she heard that, the dark look on Yuki's face lit up as she filled a chair. Yuki had been confused by the difficult conversation. So she obediently accepted Soichi's simple explanation. Since it was her beloved Soichi that said that, she had no reason to doubt his words.
Nagisa-chanと喧嘩するなら困っちゃうけどさ、別にこれまで通りでいいんでしょ？ねえ、お兄ちゃん。
It'd be bad if we had to fight her or something, but we can just keep going like we always have, right, big bro? That's right, Yuki. Soichi chuckled and rustled Yuki's hair. There's nothing else to it, that's all it is.
私、もったいぶるのは大人の悪いところだと思う。
I think it's a bad habit of adults to lord over the information they have. Soichi snickered at Yuki's words. That's right, Yuki. I couldn't have said it better myself. We're such idiots, aren't we? Soichi's smile turned to booming laughter. That's right. What are we even doing? It's just like when Sakumi scolded me. Just like when Nagisa's confession is the same. Hold on a second. Why do we always try and make things more complicated like that? I mean, the whole story was much simpler. Sheesh, why couldn't we all just said, let's get along or something like that? Soichi placed his hand to his face and shrugged with exasperation. That was their one and only problem. One and only question.
三剣さん。宗一。
When they saw Soichi like that, Sakumi and Karin looked at each other and nodded.
渚さん、これからも仲良くしましょうね。
Nagisa, let's stay friends, okay?
そうそう。私とも仲良くしてね。私、渚さんの作るご飯好きだからさ。
That's right. Let's stay friends too. I like the food you make, after all. And then the two of them smiled. Sakumi and Karin also believed in Nagisa now.
みんな許してくれるの？信じてくれるの？
You guys forgive me? You trust me? Nagisa wiped the tears welling in the corners of her eyes. She couldn't believe their reactions. She was happy to hear that. Those two emotions mixed together causing her to make a questionable expression. It's not about trust. We don't have reason to doubt you at all. No, of course we trust you. We have no reason to doubt you. There was nothing strange about the way Nagisa had acted up till now. Maybe she had hostile intent towards them at first, but the Nagisa Soichi remembered was a cute, slightly airhead woman. That was why Soichi continued chuckling. His face scrunched up from time to time. He was laughing so much that his stomach hurt. It wasn't because he doubted Nagisa. You guys sure are laid back. Fumika also starts giving a little smile. It seemed her misgivings had all been cleared up. I think it's just you guys say. Sure sucks to grow up, huh? Fumika placed a hand to her cheek and sighed. In actuality, she suspected it on the way. Based on some of the words Nagisa had said to Soichi and the others. And her attitude back then. They had credibility in Nagisa's words. Fumika sure is stubborn. Soichi was exasperated by Fumika's words. When he saw the gentle look on her face, he could tell that she, probably believed Nagisa as well. You guys... Nagisa's eyes welled with tears again. The rest depends on you, Nagisa. What do you want to do with us? And then Soichi finally stopped laughing. When he did, everyone's eyes naturally turned to Nagisa. The room had grown peaceful in the blink of an eye. Nagisa said that and put her hands to her chest and closed her eyes. After a few dozen seconds, she opened them again.
仲良くしたい。今までと同じように。
I want to be friends with you, just like we have up until now. Nagisa's reserved voice filled the room.
はい、大変よくできました。
Okay, good job there. Yuki then nodded over exaggeratedly.
ゆうきちゃんったら。
Oh, Yuki. There was laughter filled the room again at Yuki's actions. But there was something different than it had been before. It was that Nagisa's laughter was also mixed in. Hold on a second. Alright, I'm gonna go on for a little while longer, I think. After some time had passed and Fumika gauged everyone had calmed down, she spoke again.
渚さんの件はそれでいいとして、ここはどんな場所なの?
We've cleared up what's up with Nagisa, but what is this place?
ここは中央制御室といって、ゲームマスターがこの建物を直接コントロールするための場所なんです。
This is called the Central Control Room. It's a place that allows the Game Master to directly control the building.
だから監視装置とかもつけられていません。
So there's no surveillance devices here. Nagisa returned to her usual tone of voice. But her clothes were a bit different. She removed the camera and mic and the transmitter that relayed them, allowing her to move much more lightly.
じゃあ、渚さんなら操作できるってこと?
Does that mean you can operate it?
はい、先ほど私に権限が回ってきた時に PDA からログインしておきましたので、全部コントロールできます。
That's right. When the authority was transferred over to me just a while back, I logged in with my PDA so I can control it all.
ちょっと待って。権限が回ってきたってどういう意味なの?
Hold on a second. What do you mean by when the authority was turned over to you? Fumika asked in confusion. It wasn't just her. Soichi also found that part unusual.
それはですね、本来撮影係のサブマスターにはこの建物は不完全にしかコントロールできません。
Well, you see, originally I was just a submaster in charge of filming, so I couldn't completely control this building.
例外はメインのゲームマスターが行動不能になった場合です。
The exception is when the main game master is no longer able to act.
その時点からサブマスターが撮影よりもゲームの管理が優先されるようになり、メインマスターのアクセス権限が継承されるんです。
When that happens, the submaster's priority goes from filming to supervising the game, and so the main master's access privileges are transferred to them.
つまり今は一時的により上位の管理者に昇格したってことなのね。
So it's kind of like you got a temporary promotion?
はい、そうです。
Yes, that's right.
ってことは、渚さん、本来のゲームマスターに何かがあったってことだよね。
And that means something happened to the true game master, right? Karn pointed that out. I see. Yeah, that should be the case. Soichi quietly agreed with Nagisa's point.
はい。
Karn's point.
怪我をしたか、それとも亡くなったか。それで私がゲームマスターに昇格したんだと思います。
Yes. Either they've been injured or they've died. And so I was promoted to Game Master, I think.
それはいつのことなのかしら。
When was this?
このエクストラゲームが始まってすぐぐらいです。
Shortly after this extra game began. What could have happened? I don't think we did anything that would have gotten another participant killed.
それが宗一くん。さっきからゲームマスターの所在を探しているんだけど、なんでか見つからないんだ。
Well, you see, Soichi, I'm trying to find what the Game Master was for a while now, but for some reason I can't.
多分センサーやカメラに映らない場所にいるんだと思う。
I think she went somewhere where I think they went somewhere where the sensors and cameras can't pick her up. Maybe they got injured and can't move anymore?
でも、三剣さん、私たち運が良かったんですね。
Well, we're lucky, aren't we, Mitsurugi? Hold on a second. Soichi thought Sakumi had been quiet till now spoke. Soichi turned to her, and then Sakumi continued.
渚さんの権限が昇格してなかったら、私たちは誰も助からなかったんですから。
If Nagisa hadn't gotten those rights, then we couldn't have saved anyone. Now you mention it, that's true. Soichi felt a shiver up his spine when she put it like that. The reason they've been able to save Fumika and shaking off their pursuers, their enemies, was because of how Nagisa had gotten full control over the building. When he thought about what would have happened if that weren't the case, he couldn't stay calm.
でも、組織を裏切ったのがバレたら、コントロールできなくなるんじゃなくて?
But won't you lose your rights now that you've betrayed the organization?
だから裏切る前にあらかじめログインしておきました。こうすればシステムを全てシャットダウンしない限り、私のアクセスは有効です。
That's why I logged in before I betrayed them. This way, my access is still valid as long as they don't shut down the system.
その辺の抜かりはないわけね。
Hold on a second. doubt they'd make an oversight that huge.
でもそろそろ私の裏切りがバレて向こうから手出ししてくるのではないかと思います。今はそれに備えていろいろ細工をしているところです。
But I think they've more or less figured out that I betrayed them, so they should be making their move. They should be in the middle of making all sorts of preparations and doing all sorts of tampering. Nagisa hastily operated the control panel. She said that.
カジノにある制御室からのコントロールはゲームマスターと同格の権限を持っているので、私が閉じたドアとかも簡単に開けられるんです。
The control room in the casino has the same rights as the game master, so they can easily open the doors I close.
だから今は敵の部隊の侵入を防げていますけど、いずれ彼らもここに入ってくるはずです。
So I'm holding them off for now, but they'll get in here eventually.
どのくらい時間が稼げそう？
How much time do you think you can buy?
この中央制御室はシェルター構造になっていて、隔壁を全部閉鎖してしまえばロックを外されたとしても開けるのには時間がかかります。
The central control room was designed as a shelter, and if we close off all the bulkheads, all the shutters leading to it, and lock it, it should take close off all the shutters here. Even if they unlock it, it should take them some time.
多分15分か長くて20分ってところだと思います。
I'd say 15 to 20 minutes at the most.
ギリギリね。
It's not much. Fumika muttered that. She looked at her watch. It was currently 9 o'clock. According to the latest intel she received, Ace's attack was scheduled to start at 9:30. When they factor in the time it would probably take to secure the boss, they'd have to hold out until 9:40.
ふみかさんってエースの方なんですよね。
You're of Ace, right, Fumika?
ええ、そうよ。
Yes, that's right.
やっぱりずっとそうなんじゃないかって思ってました。
I thought so. I suspected that might be the case for a while now. Nagisa gave a little smile as she input the commands to close the shutters.
もしあなたがそれを報告してたら、私たちの乾杯だったと思うわ。
If you report that, I think we've totally lost, I'd say.
ってことは、私はずいぶん早い時期に裏切ってたんですね。
Which means I betrayed them quite a while back, huh? Nagisa smiled happily.
おかげで勝ち目が出てきたわ。
And now we have a shot of winning thanks to that.
もしかして攻撃があるんですか？
Huh? Is there going to be an attack?
そうよ。何も問題がなければ30分から。
That's right. As long as no problems arise, it'll be another half hour.
そっか。それでギリギリって言ってたんですね。
I see. So that's what you meant.
待って、あなたそれを知らないで裏切ったの？それじゃあ勝ち目なんてないって分かったでしょ？
Wait, they betrayed them without knowing that? Even knowing there shouldn't have been any chance of victory despite that? Fumika's eyes widened in surprise when she realized the meaning of Nagisa's words.
だってしょうがないじゃないですか。宗一くんたちのことが大好きなんですから。
I mean, I couldn't really help it. I love Soichi and the others.
それじゃあ仕方ないわね。
I guess you couldn't have helped it then, huh?
はい。
Nope. Nagisa and Fumika looked at each other and smiled.